Hey,
Hey man,
yo,
what's
how's
up,
it
bro?
going?
I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good. So it's pretty late over there.
Yeah, it's like 12, 11:30.
Uh,
Not that late, especially for a game programmer, right?
yeah. Are you working on anything right now?
Yeah, actually, a lot of things. A lot of things. I'm always working on games, so yeah. Not that it's announced yet.
Cool. So you said that there wasn't much writing involved with like game design development.
Right, not for me at least.
Yeah.
You're talking about a game design document, right?
Game design, like a flow chart or anything with like writing.
I mean, does flowchart really qualify for writing? I mean, if
Uh,
it does, then yeah, because flowcharts are like yeah. If when you're doing game mechanics, when you're like designing systems, then yeah, you see a lot of flowcharts.
okay.
But like for a game design document, have you ever seen a game design document and you know what it looks like?
I've not, but I've heard that they're plentiful and
Like do you
great
know
to
what?
write.
Right. So here's my take on game design documents. If you want to know, like when the idea of the game design document was pitched, somebody came into the room and they were like, you know, we want this one document that's going to be the Bible for practically everyone on the team. And I mean like UI designers, programmers, managers, publishers, everyone involved wants to have this one document, and that's ambitious, right? Think about it. The UI designer wants to know what the buttons look like. Programmers want to know what systems to design and stuff like that. It's not possible. It doesn't. I mean, there are situations where like a design document really works out. Like I've seen the game design document for this cricket game. It was an EA game, and I mean, it wasn't like a new game. It was basically like it was a tried and tested concept, and they were just changing stuff up and making a new game out of it. So yeah, that's I think that over there, game design document makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, no, I don't think so.
And it's just you just working on it in your head.
Right. I mean, you know, when you're making like when you're working on newer games, like when you're working on like this new idea,
Mm-hmm.
it makes perfect sense in your head and you put it down on paper and it still makes perfect sense. But when you prototype, when you put it into like a computer, yeah, that's when these problems start to show up, right? Which you just couldn't foresee, you just couldn't predict that those things are going to show up. And when they do, everything that you've written down is basically garbage, right? Because now you have this new perspective on the
Mm-hmm.
game, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, spending too much time on paper just like it doesn't always work out. At least for me, it didn't. I can only speak for myself.
Okay. Uh, yeah. With the indie game development, I'm guessing there's not a whole lot involved with that because it's just one person, so there's not a lot of communication you need. But you did.
Communication is different. Yeah, if you're a one-person team, of course not. Like I'm a one-person team and I don't have to talk to anyone.
Hmm.
It's great. That's how I like to work. But if you're working with a team of developers, yeah,
Yeah.
I've been there. It was it was terrible.
What kind of stuff did you work on?
So I mean, I was in a team of 4 developers, right? And I was the one coming in as the game designer, and I was like, I'm gonna make a game, and um, I practically saw like my creative freedom being like taken away from me, and
Hmm.
how that was. I mean, like communication, like you mentioned, it's a big deal, especially in a team. And if you can't, if you don't have any command over like people and communication, you're just shooting yourself in the foot.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm forgetting.
What was
What
that
was it?
communication that you wrote me in the mail? Communication, writing, and what was the third thing?
Reading.
Reading,
I think they kind of go hand in hand,
I guess.
sort of. So I know you have to. I know you have to. As an indie developer, you kind of have to market your own product, so it kind of helps to know what to put for the game description and anything like that. And
I
your
mean, obviously,
postmortem.
yeah, I did that too. Like I did the postmortem. I basically wrote all of the marketing material for the game. I didn't write emails myself. I had a publisher helping me out with that. But like the two sentences you read on the front page of the game, yeah, that was me. Like there's that stuff is important. Like you want to leave people with like a gist of the game, right? And when they go to the website, that's what they read. So if that's the kind of writing you're talking about, yeah, that's I guess that's also very important.
Okay.
How marketing speak can really change people's perspective on what a game is like. That happens all the time.
Yeah. What was it like working with Callum for the soundtrack?
It was amazing. I mean, he came in later in like the game had already seen like 8 months of development, at least 7 months of development, and then most of the game was already established. Like the visual aesthetic and all of that was already there, and we basically found each other. And I knew about his work from before. He's worked on some really cool games, and the kind of music that he was doing for those games, I thought would like make for a great fit with Lovely Planet. And I just told him to do whatever he does best, and guess it worked out, right?
Yeah, definitely. It's a great soundtrack.
Oh yeah, he's brilliant.
Where did you like see him first, or how did you find out about him?
Right. TIG forums, right? The TIG, the indie game community.
Yeah, I think so.
He lurks those forums, and I was there too, and he basically just messaged me, and I was like, yeah, you're doing the music for this game because you're awesome.
Cool. So I think I visited there before. I kind of make music as well, so that might be helpful too. No? Yeah.
How do you get yourself out there? I mean, do you have you obviously have like a SoundCloud then, right?
Yeah, SoundCloud and a YouTube, and I think I've been at TIG at TIG before, but I didn't get much attention.
But if you have do you already have some stuff that you've made? Like, have you put it up on Bandcamp?
About
Bandcamp?
Yeah, I have it on Bandcamp.
Bandcamp is pretty cool.
Yeah, I get most of the attention from SoundCloud though. That's where it's just purely sound.
Not that much from YouTube?
I have some, but not as much.
Some.
Yeah,
right.
It's good. When you first, what was it like when the soundtrack was first put in the game? Like you were playing with just kind of sound effects for the whole 8 months.
Right. Yeah.
What was it like when you first put the soundtrack in it?
Yeah, I mean, I was like, this was my first time working like with a musician. Like somebody was doing the music for my game, and I was really scared when I went into it. I was like, wow, I'm paying someone to make music for my game, and what if I don't like it and stuff like that. All those questions, they were going around in my mind. And then Callum basically sends me this first sample that he worked on, and I was just like, yeah, this guy has a better idea of what music needs to go into this game.
Yeah.
So he just did it. He just took it from there, and every song he sent to me, I was like, yeah, you know what, this is perfect.
Okay.
So it was easier than I had imagined.
Yeah, just kind of put it in there and it works.
Yeah, it just worked.
I'm gonna read off some community questions. Are you satisfied with the overall backlash from the game, or did you expect more content made by the community?
I actually went in with no expectations. I was happy that lots of YouTube celebrities, lots of celebrities covered the game. Like PewDiePie covered the game. Lots of YouTube celebrities covered the game, so that was nice. I was expecting people to put up their stream and like world records and stuff like that, and that only emerged a couple of months after the game was released. So that's nice. I mean, we have a speed running community going on. I mean, it's not big, but it's great.
I've kind of delved in that as well. Haven't got any world records though. because they're
Yeah,
competitive.
I've been corresponding with people who are speedrunning the game, and like I got
Oh,
feature requests and stuff like that. So that was pretty awesome. Like I wasn't expecting that. That was great. But artwork, I don't know. There was some fan art early on. There wasn't a whole lot of it, or I've not found it. Like that was all. But yeah, I'm more than happy for what I have. Like it's not like a sandbox game where people really
mhm.
want to see the game. You set a world record and somebody might beat it, but until then, there's really just no new content to throw out there. So yeah, I'm happy.
Okay. Here's another one. Wait. Would you ever make a vaporware-themed game? I feel like the art style of Lovely Planet definitely feels vivid, and a vaporware-looking game, or even a level pack, would be awesome.
Vaporware is that art thing, right?
Or vaporwave. I'm not exactly sure.
It's that I think yeah, it's that 90s. I'm not sure how to describe it. Yeah, Lovely Planet is not like that. I mean, I have lots of ideas, like, but that specifically, no, not really. I have no
Okay.
ideas like right now. But yeah, it's an interesting. Like I've seen games do that. Do you know about Jazzpunk?
Yeah, I played it.
Yeah, I think Jazzpunk is kind of like that, but not entirely. That was a good game.
Yeah. Would you ever think about doing any like more level packs or DLC or anything for this?
For Lovely Planet specifically, I'm not sure right now. Like, I'm not sure if the game is going to see any DLC anytime soon. There is going to be a console port.
Cool.
I don't know when. I can't give you a date on that, but maybe. I'm not completely sure about that. Not anytime soon, at least.
Okay. Did Lovely Planet end up like how you imagined it before development?
Nah, not at all. Not at all. Like, I don't know if people want to hear this at all, but it's the game did not come from like a grand vision. It didn't come from like this ambitious project that I want to pull off. I just went in knowing that I'm going to make a first person shooter that's different. I mean, everything just came after that. It came from like an iterative process of experimentation, like the art style being the most obvious part of the game. It came from experimentation. It wasn't something I went in originally like with that idea. Like I'm going to make the cute shooter of 2014. Yeah,
Yeah.
that wasn't. Yeah, I didn't know that. So almost all of the game mechanics, all of the enemy types, all of the visual aesthetic, it's something that I arrived on. I didn't start the game with all of that.
What came first, the art style, or the game mechanics?
The game mechanics, not all of them, right? Like I knew that I'm going to model a first person shooter after the Super Meat Boy concept of like replaying levels and like trying over and over. That was I knew that much. Then the aesthetic came, and then I wanted to put in like enemy types and stuff like that, so that I can make new levels and fill out like 100 levels over 5 different worlds. So yeah, that came after the aesthetic.
Okay. How much longer will you be developing Lovely Planet for?
Developing Lovely Planet specifically, I don't think like there are sometimes there are bugs and stuff like that, but like there aren't many right now, so really there's not much support involved. Feature requests, yeah, we had like the timer. I patched in the timer. The leaderboards were done like a week after release and stuff like that, but adding to the game, I don't think I'm going to do that anymore. We are working on, like I'm working on I'm not doing it myself, but we are arranging for the sequel. I mean, not the sequel,
Some news?
wait, no, not the sequel, the console port.
Okay.
Xbox One, I think. So that is something we're working on.
Okay. What about like something like Steamworks or mod support? I'm not sure if there's a modding community, or if there's.
There was a couple of mods initially, like somebody patched in a timer before I did. But no, there isn't like making levels and stuff like that. The game really isn't designed around that. Like it's not modular, so you can't make your own levels.
Okay.
Right. So yeah, I don't think the game is gonna see that anytime soon. Maybe in a sequel, if that happens ever. Right. So I don't know.
Well, I've exhausted my questions, and the communities.
That was all.
Yeah.
I mean, you wanted to like, what is this? Like, what are you doing? What is the, like, what's the, you're doing it like part of the school and everything? Like, is it like a?
This is just for an English class, but they told me to research people in the industry I'm going into, so.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So you're going into the games industry, like head first? Like you want to write?
Yeah, write code for games and design them.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Cool. It's fun.
I don't have a lot of experience yet, but yeah. It looks fun.
Right.
Just a lot of work.
It is fun. It is a lot of work, but yeah, if you're enjoying it, it doesn't really matter, does it?
Yeah. How long would you say the whole project of Lovely Planet took? Because you said 8 months. You were working on it for 8 months before the soundtrack. How many months after the soundtrack?
Yeah, like I mean, release happened at least 1 year and 2 months. Like I started development 1 year and 2 months before release. So that's a long time.
Cool.
And then like there was a considerable amount of time put into supporting the product after it was out. Right, so that took up a lot of time too. Like I'm still sometimes doing that. So you can't just put something out and like forget about it. You have to keep contributing to it. How much ever you're like little bit.
Yeah.
That kind of work has to go in.
You mentioned you worked at a team before. What was it like just going into indie for the first time, or were you working on other projects while you were working on Lovely Planet?
Right, so Lovely Planet, no, I wasn't, like Lovely Planet was full time. Like I had no distractions, like except of course some stuff that I wanted to experiment on myself. Other than that, no. I have tried to collaborate with people before, but yeah, it didn't work out. So yeah, I work alone. I don't have a partner. Yeah.
I could be a team member.
Right.
Was Callum from... where was Callum from? The soundtrack guy.
Yeah, I think he lives in London, I think. Not completely sure. I think so. He went to Japan. He keeps going to Japan. He writes to me and he's like, I'm going to Japan. Like, that's pretty cool. I would love to go to Japan.
It reminds me, the whole art style of Lovely Planet kind of reminds me of like something you'd see out of Japan, which is what I assumed it was based off of.
Right, it was. I mean, at the time I was super obsessed with like Japanese pop music, and like I was watching Japanese music videos, Japanese movies and stuff like that, and like you're consuming all of that, culture, and you want to like just let it out somewhere. And I was looking at this prototype of a first-person shooter, right, which didn't really have a face yet. I was like, why not make a first-person shooter with like cute stuff?
Definitely paid off.
I think it did. Yeah. It's wacky and it's different. It's what I was going for. And the game doesn't really have like a story, so I could just throw in whatever I want. That was the idea.
Cool. Did you watch anime as well, or just kind of music videos?
No. Like I have tried to watch anime. I have friends who watch anime. They totally get it, but I don't get it at all. Like I just don't like it at all.
Maybe it's the culture.
I don't know. It's not like I like there's lots of culture shock involved when you're like watching like Japanese like stuff. That's not I don't think that's the problem I have with anime. It's just like I'd probably not found the right anime for me, because there's lots of anime out there, right?
What have you tried?
I have tried. So my friends are really into Full Metal Alchemist.
Oh, that's a great
You
one.
know, yeah, I didn't really love it
No?
that much. No. Um, then I started looking at all the ecchi stuff.
The etchy?
Yeah, you know ecchi?
Sort of. I know the not safe for work version.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
version. Yeah, that part of anime. And then there was High School of the Dead, I think.
Not a very
Yeah,
good
that stuff
introductory.
is weird. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I was watching like you know Akira Kurosawa, right? The filmmaker,
Uh,
Rashomon.
no?
No, come on, dude. Great movies, like those movies. Like I saw all of them. 2014 was the year. 2013, 14. Like I was just watching that stuff non-stop. So there was lots of Japan in my life at the time. That's where Lovely Planet comes from.
Cool. I remembered a question, but I forgot it.
Nothing.
No, I'm forgetting.
Is that all the community questions? Like I didn't even know that we had like a subreddit.
It's pretty small, but I don't know. It's more for the speedrunners, I think.
Right. Like I saw some, like once you mentioned it, I actually Googled it, and like I found someone, they were talking about how they thought Lovely Planet was like it was an allegory for like an American soldier making their way into like Japanese territory during the Second World War.
Oh yeah, that was my question of
I
where
was
you got
like-
the title from.
The title for the game,
Yeah.
Lovely Planet. Where did I get the name from? I don't know. So I'll tell you how I arrived at the icon, the Lovely Planet thing. I was just I had the mechanics, like I had like levels that I had made, and I wanted backgrounds for those levels. I wanted to put something in the distance, like you know, some like a sky map, like stars and stuff like that. And the easiest thing you can do is just put a 3D model in space, right? You can just import like some object and just put it.
Yeah.
And I just made a sphere, man. I just made like a ball and I put it in the sky, and I was like, hey, that's nice, let's give it some color. And I did. And you know how in 3D models you have spheres made out of like bands, like there's a cylinder, a smaller cylinder, and a smaller cylinder, so it's like it's already cut into like 6 slices.
Yeah.
I gave them 6 different colors, and I was like, yeah, you know, let's call that something. And Lovely Planet was a nice name for that object, and I was like, why not call the game Lovely Planet?
It's definitely nothing like it.
Yep.
I'm not sure there's any other Steam game with lovely in the name, so first thing that pops up is your game.
There is a lot of, yeah, maybe not. Yeah, but it's not a nice name like for Google search. Like when you search it on Google, like Lovely shows up and then Planet shows up, and they on its own, the 2 words, they search for everything but the game. So for those independent developers who are looking to get their game be more visible and all of that, they want to come up with like a more unique name, not Lovely Planet.
Yeah. How long did it, what was I gonna say? Something to do with Steam. How quickly did your get your game on Steam? Did you go through the green light program?
Oh no, I didn't. I collaborated with the publisher. I developed the game for like 6-7 months, and then I was like, the game got featured on Kotaku on its own. I did nothing, and they really liked it. I mean, lots of people saw the game. Nobody had seen it before, so that was a lot of like exposure. Like people were looking at the game and they were like, yeah, this is something we'd like to see. And I was like, you know, maybe I have something on my hands, and I should pitch someone who knows what needs to be done with a game. And I went to a publisher basically, and the publisher was like, yeah, we can do something with this.
And that was Tiny Build, wasn't it?
Yeah. And they basically like saw me through the whole Steam process, like getting our game ready for Steam. We put in achievements and stuff like that after that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Mm-hmm. What else?
Not sure. I personally haven't finished the game yet because I got stuck on the last world.
It's so on the last one. So you finished Swamp?
Yeah. The one thing that kind of made me stop playing was the snow, like the whole snow thing where if you go in the snow you're frozen. I was like,
right.
This seems like counterintuitive to the whole speedrunning thing. So it kind of drew me back. But then I watched someone speedrun the thing, and it's like, oh, this is actually this is still doable. So
yeah, it is.
They've been working on it again.
It doesn't fit in that world. Like even speedrunners don't like that world. When they're speedrunning, like any percenting the game, they just skip World 5 because it's so weird. I thought it was neat. Like there was snow, but there was the teleport things, right? Like it's a nice contrast. Like you get stuck, then you teleport.
Yeah, like the teleport one's pretty cool to play around with.
Yeah, I mean, but because it was the end of the game, I was like, I'm just going to make it really hard. And it just crossed that line, you know. It just crossed that line, and it's just it's insane. Even people don't like World 4, like the Swamp.
Yeah,
people are really put off by the fog. I mean, I don't like when I was making World 4, I was like, wow, this is going to be the most fun part of the game. But it's not. Like players actually enjoy creatively dodging the triggers and all of that in World 2. Like they'd be like, the bomb doesn't go off if I take this route instead of the other one. Speedrunners find that more interesting than beating World 4, which is like super strict and like you have to go through this platform and stuff like that in World 4 where there's the fog. So yeah, that was strange to me.
I didn't know. Like a fun challenge though, the fog and the being really damn hard.
Right, that was like, the fog is also misinterpreted. Like people don't get why the fog is there. I mean, you might think it's just to make it harder, but it also cleans up the view. Like you don't get to see things that are too far away, and that's actually a good thing because there's less for you to work with, right? So I thought that was pretty neat, but people come out and say that that's like the worst design in the game, and I'm just like, really? Come on. I put a lot of effort into that.
You got the snow.
But yeah, the snow, and the fog. So I don't know. People have like their own way to look at the game. So if they enjoy something else, it's fine.
This is off that topic, but how much when people like PewDiePie and other like big YouTubers like that kind of started featuring your game, how much publicity do you think how much like many more downloads or publicity overall did you think you got?
Obviously, it counts for a lot of it's a lot of publicity. Like the PewDiePie video has like almost 5 million views now, and that counts for a lot. How much does that translate into like sales figures? I'm not at liberty to share those numbers with you, but
yeah, that's fine.
At some level, obviously, visibility is always good. Any kind of traction you get on the internet counts for a lot. So, yeah, getting yourself featured on YouTube, I think it's a big part of getting your game out there. But it always happens. It sometimes can happen that you put a game out, it doesn't get any visibility, but people find it later, right? And that's when it's called a sleeper hit, right? A sleeper hit is basically like a game that finds its audience much later. So you never know. I don't know. Maybe Lovely Planet is still looking for its target audience, and it might. But yeah, we don't know. We don't know that.
Yeah, I'm sure people still haven't heard about it. So there's a lot of speedrunners.
That's always a possibility.
Yeah.
Right, like more speedrunners might find it who actually enjoy the game a lot more and they're more enthusiastic about it and they're like the ones who talk more about it, then maybe more people will turn to the game later. So that's also possible. But yeah, YouTube plays a big role.
Yeah.
At least I think so. Yeah.
Personally, I found the game through a subreddit, Game Deals, where they just post game deals, and yours was on sale, so someone
Right.
recommended
With
it,
all
and
these
I looked at
bundles,
it.
yeah.
So
All those bundles, like these codes are just flying everywhere. People are exchanging them for like money and sometimes other codes. Most of the on the Steam community hub, we have people coming in and asking for like exchange. Like they have this code, they want Lovely Planet, and they'll just make an exchange. Pretty
Yeah.
neat.
yeah, they do that with keys too, where they exchange like keys as common currency for other games.
Right.
Yeah.
Counter-Strike, man, like
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, it's a market out there. I mean, they're gamifying everything, you know.
Mhm.
They'll sell anything, hats, right?
Mhm.
So yeah, it's pretty neat.
Yeah. So obviously you're pretty okay with the people on YouTube using your like game for their content. What do you
Oh
think?
yeah,
What do you think
totally.
about Nintendo and their kind of attitude
I don't know.
towards that?
I don't know what they're on. Like I actually don't understand their like what are they thinking? I don't know. They obviously know more about what's going on than I do, so they probably have some agenda behind it. I don't know.
People
Like,
always say
I'm
that
not the
they're
right.
out of the time because they're doing this kind of stuff, and it is kind of
Right.
true.
It's probably true. I can't say. I just don't have like enough information to work with. So like how much are they being, do you think, like do they think that they're being exploited, like when somebody makes are their sales figures like taking a hit or something? I don't know. So I really can't say. Personally, of course, like I would never do that. I would never like not allow someone to stream my game because like my life depends on it. Like I need people to see the game, and YouTube is the only place they're seeing it. I don't have my game being advertised on the frickin' Super Bowl.
Yeah.
It's not gonna, that's not gonna happen. So YouTube is where it's at for me. So I need my game there. Nintendo, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Even EA is doing it, right? Is that true?
I don't remember. I know Sega
Yeah.
did it a few times, to some big YouTubers. Yeah,
Yeah, but
kind of
what's
dispersed.
really strange, like what's really strange though, is that people are all over it. Like there are lots of,
Yeah,
I've read about few YouTube celebrities who are not really okay with it, but everyone else is going for it basically.
Mhm.
I don't know what like people have to say about that.
It's a good thing that at least PewDiePie is on the right side with that. But he's just one of many.
Right, and like some YouTube people are like they're gonna open their own store and stuff like that. I mean,
Mhm.
hey, if they feel they can pull it off, why not?
Yeah. Gotta go where the money is.
Nerdcube, Nerdcube, right?
Yeah.
Right. So he also played my game, and he's like starting his own store. Quite cool. But like how the Steam platform is supposed to evolve. I don't know when, but they already have the curator program. Like you can be a curator on Steam.
Hmm.
Like that's supposed to translate into you having like you can have like an affiliate program where you can have your own store, and you can share revenue for every sale that you bring in. I don't know when that might happen, and people who are on YouTube, they're really going to benefit from that.
Hmm. Well, it's been a good half hour. I'm not
How much
sure.
time is it? 35 minutes.
Yeah.
Awesome. Fist bump.
Brofist.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Brofist. PewDiePie.
Good.
What a guy.
What a guy.
Do you watch him regularly?
No, I used to, but
Yeah,
he
same here.
got too big.
I just, yeah. I can't
And-
stand it anymore.
Yeah. I used to watch him when he
Some of
played
his
like Penumbra, Overture, and Amnesia for the first time.
right,
And he
yeah,
just
I
just
wasn't a
became
bro
cookie.
back then.
Yeah, then he
Yeah,
became kind of cookie cutter.
you think?
Something like that.
I mean, it's great how you can create entertainment like that. It's
Yeah.
actually pretty. And when people say that, uh, when people say that people who are on YouTube, like the viewers, they're coming not for the games but for the people. I think
Mhm.
that's actually accurate. Like they're coming to see PewDiePie, not my game. That's like a byproduct. That's like something that just happens.
And then they
So
indirectly come for the games.
right. So yeah, that's another reason why I don't understand Nintendo and what they're doing.
I don't think
But they can
anyone.
make they make great games though. I have a
Yeah.
3DS. Been enjoying that.
Oh, do you remember one more question? What is the game industry like in India? Because I've not really heard a lot of stuff coming from there.
Yeah, neither have I. I don't know. I don't I don't know much about the industry here. Like I follow some news sites on Twitter, international news sites like GameSpot and like Kotaku. I follow my favorite developers on Twitter. Uh, I read whatever they have to say about the industry. That's basically it. Locally, I don't know. They have like meetups and they have their own like local uh, developer conferences. But it's a different scene. Like there's lots of mobile development from what I can see. There's lots of mobile games being developed. Are people making like quality console PC games? Like there's the next Super Meat Boy is not going to come out from India. Only mobile games are going to come out.
It already did, according to you.
Oh, not at all. My game is nowhere near the quality of like Spelunky. What a game! Like, wish I could make a game like that one day. So yeah, that's all I know about the industry. I don't know a whole lot. I don't pay much attention to it. It's not important.
So you're kind of self-taught.
You can say that. I went to college for computer science, although I had been developing games as a hobby for like a very long time. So yeah, but it sucks. Like it's like you don't have someone to look up to, and that's not a nice place to be. Like there isn't like competition. That's healthy competition is really important. Like even though it's not true, I feel like I'm the only developer making video games in like a 500 square miles, but that's not true. But you feel like that. There isn't someone down the road doing better than you at what you're doing, right? Like that feeling.
They're down the highway instead.
Right. Or like a flight away, if that makes
Or
any sense.
across
But
the
yeah,
ocean.
right. So
Yeah.
that's really important. That hit me later on, and like how you brought up communication as being like an important part of like learning about the game design process, and that's something you don't get if you're making games alone.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Yeah.
it's not awesome.
But probably still awesome at the same time.
Let's see.
Yeah. So what have you been up to today?
I've just been experimenting with like other stuff I want to work on, like games that I want to make. Some of them are like really experimental, right? So it's that's the word, experimentation. Game design for me is all about experimenting with new stuff. So, and lots of it happens in front of the computer rather than on like a whiteboard or or a notebook. I tried that for the longest time, but it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
What about you? Like, do you work on like do you have you ever worked on a game like as a part of a team maybe, or on your own?
I've worked on a board game.
That's
a
awesome.
very rough board game. It was like
Right.
it was kind of like chess. It had cards, and then it was like an RPG kind of thing.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we were trying to be experimental as well, but yeah, no, not really any video games.
But like, do you enjoy like board games? Do you have like favorite board games that you play?
Generally, no, but if there's stuff like Cards Against Humanity, have you ever heard about that?
Oh, dude, card!
Yeah.
I have it printed. I have it like I downloaded it and I printed it. It's awesome. But you
Yeah.
need like people to play it with.
Yeah, you can do it
That's a
online
big
too.
problem.
You can do it online too.
Oh, you can?
Yeah,
That's pretty cool. Like
It's
with
like-
other people.
yeah. It's called like Pretend to Be Zizzy or something. It's an X.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. It's some obscure name that they do so you can't Google it very easily.
Right, I'll check it out. But yeah, that game is awesome. And they have like expansion packs and all that.
Yeah.
It's a game for terrible people, but it's amazing. Right. I also like I don't play a lot of board games. But have you heard of the board game called Go?
Like the really old one. Just
Yeah,
Go.
the old Chinese one. Yeah.
Yeah, I've never played it though. I think I've tried, but
Yeah.
it's confusing.
It's
without a
it's like
tutorial.
it's my favorite board game. That game is like it's genius. Like that's a game worth studying. Like if you want to go into game design, that's one game you should know about.
Yeah.
Especially if you classify yourself as like a game formalist. Yeah, that game is for you.
I'll have to check it out. Actually learn how to play it instead of just going in.
Right, but you'll need to find someone who's like interested in playing a geeky old Chinese game with you.
Sure, there's online
That's all
versions.
Oh yeah, there is online. There you can play that online. I tried that, but like people online are really good. So, yeah. That's a game that doesn't have like it doesn't have an end state. Like people decide on rules. They make their own rules as to how they want to end the game.
Really?
And there's more than one rule, like because it's almost like the person who made the game, they thought it wasn't important. Like there's more interesting stuff happening before you decide who wins the game. It's amazing. It's brilliant. You have to see it.
Sounds like Cards Against Humanity, where you just
Oh yeah,
the ending is arbitrary.
it is.
Or Lovely Planet, the ending is arbitrary. You can just keep playing and playing.
Oh yeah. There is a credit sequence though. I don't know if you've seen it yet.
No.
You can just skip to
I'm
the
good
last
to.
level. If you've unlocked World 5, you can just go all the way and you can see the credits roll. And a mysterious spaceship takes off.
Spoilers.
Oh, sorry.
I've been forgetting the cutscenes.
Lots of work went into those cutscenes. There are cutscenes at the beginning of every world, right? Yeah. That was fun.
Is there like a story behind the game at all? Subtly, at
Yeah,
least?
if you no, there isn't a story. Like even if there was, I won't tell you because it's not important. That's not what the game is about. It's not. Have you read the postmortem? Like I've put it down there. Like I know why. Like I know what the game is good at. Like people will come for the mechanics and stuff like that, the music. But
And the aesthetics.
the story is something like I'm lazy basically. I just want the players to cook up their own little story, and you know what? That's more exciting. That's more fun for players who want to invest their time in it. Otherwise, speedrunners are like they don't care, right?
Yeah.
And the game's like, yeah, that's fine. You don't have to sit through like a story cutscene with dialogue to get through the game. Not important.
Yeah, I appreciate about that.
Yeah, that was really important to me also when I was going into the game, like developing it.
So I'm guessing you were kind of thinking about speedrunning when you made the game.
I did think about the speedrunning, but not as much as I should have. Like there can be more features in the game that helps speedrunners speedrun the game. Like the timer wasn't there, and that was a big problem for people who were speedrunning the game. Otherwise, what was important while I was going into the game, it was more like it was less about story and stuff like that. The aesthetics were there only to support the the rules and the mechanics of the game. So that was always it always took precedence over anything else.
Okay.
The rules, like
Yeah.
like how in the game, like if you have a mouse, like you're on the mouse and keyboard, like WASD,
Mm-hmm.
you can navigate the whole game, every menu, without leaving that stance, like stuff like that. Like that was really important to me.
Mm-hmm.
So like you can WASD, Q to quit, R to restart, right, and fire to select menu options and fire your gun. So you don't have to move your hand and stuff like that. That's like, I was like, yeah, that's something that a speedrunner would appreciate. So that went into the game.
Yeah, nice feature with that. How did you get the speeds or the times for what you need to get that 1 star in each level? Was that you personally going through each level and seeing how fast you can go?
Of course, yeah, it was like that, and it was a dumb way to do it. Like World 1 and 2, I would just do it as fast as I can, and I would add like 3 seconds over my time because it's easy. It's supposed to be easier when you're starting out to qualify. Later on in the game, World 3 and 4, I started setting times. Like I was like, I want to set a better time, so I'm going to play it again and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And World 5 was where I went insane. I was like, I want to set the fastest time possible, like personally, whatever I can, and that's going to be the time. Like I can't beat this time, somebody can. That is the time I'm going to set. So that's how I tried to scale the difficulty up. Not that it worked.
Yeah, it did seem to get harder and harder, but that's kind of how it's
Setting the
supposed to
time.
be.
I mean, yeah, the level itself is also getting harder, but to set the time, that should technically also get harder. But when people find shortcuts, like it's very obvious that like you found a shortcut because the time no longer reflects the the qualification time. You're like 8 seconds before the qualification time, so obviously you found like a loophole, and I was completely okay with that. Like I designed levels where I was like, yeah, obviously somebody's going to jump up this wall. You know why? Because they can. But you can clearly see how the level designer intended you to walk down the path and like take a turn at the end. So I was expecting that.
Were you inspired at all by like the Portal games with their kind of open-ended kind of stuff and puzzle aspects? You know, I guess not.
No, actually,
it's not really puzzles.
No. Like the game, like when I was designing the levels, yeah, like there was some amount of puzzle. The puzzle element was there because when you look at the level, like you can press that look ahead button and you can look at the level. I thought that players might want to, find better ways to tackle the same level. So like there can be a choice in some level where like, do you take this turn from the left? Like, do you go to the right or the left and stuff like that? I tried that. It didn't really work out. But it became more a game of how to tackle like the next obstacle and how you can jump over it. So there is like some amount of calculation involved, some amount of planning. But yeah, not at all like Portal.
Yeah, that was kind of a bad comparison, but yeah, I never thought about that.
The game is like Guitar Hero now. Like I wanted to make like the Super Meat Boy first-person shooter, but it's not at all like that. It's like Guitar Hero now. Like you have to learn the level. It's more important that you learn the level, and it's like a song in Guitar Hero, right? So if you mess up, you die and you have to restart.
Well, it's kind of the same as Super Meat Boy too. Kind of getting
but
the rhythm.
Super Meat Boy relies less on learning up levels. Like you're learning the controls in that game. So like you can say the same for Lovely Planet, but if you come to a level like fresh, it's not like you have a lot of skills to help you out. Like yeah, you can control your gun, you know the controls, you know the jump, how it feels, but to know the level is super important because especially in like World 4 with the fog, I mean bullets are coming out of nowhere, right? And you have to learn that up. You have to time your jumps. So that's not going to happen after you've before you can play the level. So you have to play it over and over to learn it. Super Meat Boy doesn't do that.
Well, they do get pretty hard, so you kind of have to do the same controls over and over again to kind of learn what kind of path you want to take through the levels.
Right, but you can see the level always. Like, it's always in front of you. You can see what's ahead of you, what's behind you.
That's
Lovely
nice,
Planet it's a first-person game, so you can't really see the whole level. You have to go into the obstacle, and then it presents itself. Whereas in Super Meat Boy, it's in front of you before you tackle it.
Don't you have the look ahead thing?
Yeah, but that's a crutch. It's something I threw in as an excuse. Like, here, I'm letting you see the level, but I mean, World 4, it doesn't make any sense at all, does it? Because the bullets are going to come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And you can't see that. It's not like I'm not telling you that this is where the bullet is going to come from. It's going to come there when you actually show up. So it's actually about beating your head against the wall, like against the level, to see what's coming from where. And then once you've learned that up, then you can start to try and bend it to, like, maximize your performance and your time and set records and stuff like that. That's why it's more like Guitar Hero than Super Meat Boy.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think that could do it. If you want to go to bed or do whatever.
Yeah, I guess.
I'm probably.
If you're done.
I could probably upload
You're gonna
this
upload
to,
all of this?
all
of
yeah.
it?
I might edit some parts.
Yeah,
yeah.
you should.
Yeah.
Don't want to sensationalize a sequel right now.
Well, we gotta keep that in.
Damn it. Come on. Right, you do that.
At least you're not the Scott Cawthon behind the Five Nights at Freddy games with his
What's that?
sequels. Do you know of Five Nights at Freddy's?
Oh, no, I don't.
Oh, it's this really popular horror game that was pretty much popularized by a bunch of YouTubers. It's a horror game,
Oh, yeah?
so yeah,
Right.
it naturally gets a lot of publicity.
Oh, it did.
Yeah,
Cool.
and he's continually doing sequels. People are like hammering him with requests to just release it.
What are those games called again? Like,
Horror games? Five Nights at Freddy's?
I mean, what's the next one called?
What are you talking about?
Yeah, I'm talking about the games. Like, they have different names, right?
No, it's just numbers.
Oh, they're just numbers?
Yeah, Five Nights at Freddy's, 1, 2, 3.
Oh, right.
Mhm.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I was trying to get him for that developer, Scott Cawthon, for an interview too, but he never responded.
Have you spoken to other developers?
I spoke to Bone Loaf, the guys behind Gang Beasts.
Oh, cool. How was that?
Or I didn't spoke to, I emailed them. I never got back.
Right.
Mhm.
Anyone else?
I was considering the developers of Speedrunners, which is the publishers of your game, but
Right.
I don't know. Seemed like a bigger studio, in a way.
Yeah, bigger than this. I'm just one guy
Yeah.
working out of a basement.
Cool. I think we can leave it at that then, if you want. Unless you want to say anything else
Yeah, I think, I'm done.
to the community, or
I really don't have, like, a message right now.
words of wisdom for future game developers.
Words of wisdom. Words of wisdom for people who are speedrunning the game. Take breaks every 30 minutes. Go take a walk. Have some water.
I know I've
For
raged.
future game developers. Yeah, I don't know, dude. I don't know right now.
Well, you obviously like experimentation, so it's a good lesson.
Right.
I know I've raged from playing Lovely Planet, trying to get all 3 stars in all the levels.
Yeah, you should do that.
Yeah.
It's gonna take a while.
The only thing that there's a workaround of that is you can just do 1 star at a time instead of going for them all at once.
Oh yeah, I don't know why. Like, should I have not done that? Should I have had like a platinum star at the end where you do all of them together? Would that make more sense?
It could be a cool feature, but I like the 3 stars, and then there's something higher or if you get platinum stars for all the levels.
Right, like that would make sense.
Mm-hmm.
It is easier, like you can just do the time and then you can do the 100% accuracy, but I personally found it fun to tackle all the stars together. Like it was fun to beat the time with, and that's how I set the records, by the way. I set them with 100% accuracy and doing it faster than the qualification time.
Yeah, I often found myself doing just naturally doing the 100% accuracy while I was trying to get the time, because it's just faster.
Right. Yes. Next time.
Yeah. Platinum stars.
Platinum stars, basically. Yeah, that makes sense.
Or have like a 4th star or something.
Or just not award like the last star if you haven't done all of them together. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
Good interview.
Yeah.
Nice.
Better than last time.
Last time?
Yeah, I've tried this before. Doesn't really work out for me every time.
Oh, was it like a professional interviewer, like someone from a?
No.
Same as this kind of thing.
Just something like this basically. Turns out I can't think on my feet.
You did pretty good.
Thanks, man.
No problem.
Hey, we got an hour. That's nice.
Yeah. Got something to get some YouTube publicity for.
Oh yeah, you do that.
I get some views. You get some 100 views for 100 views worth of publicity, or something.
Right.
I'll have to see
you
how
better
much.
Translate that to sales.
I'll put a link to the game.
You want commission?
Or I'll put five. I'll put 5 links to the game in the description.
You want to do a giveaway? Like with keys and stuff.
I could.
Yeah. I think I can get you some keys.
If
you want to do that. Yeah, I mean I'll have to. I don't think I have some right now, but maybe.
Okay.
If you want to do that, if you want to get your YouTube thing off the ground.
I'd probably. I normally do like just music on my channel. It'd probably be on a secondary channel, so the views don't really matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, then you're not getting any.
And I could give some away to the subreddit or something. But there's not really many people there anyways, but I don't know. Yeah,
there's not a lot of people. There is a Steam group, I think, with people, like it's called some Planet Runners or something like that, like where you just, like everyone speedrunning Lovely Planet is on there.
I joined that group.
Oh, you're part of that group?
Yeah.
I am. Although I don't speedrun Lovely Planet anymore.
No.
I do have 97 hours inside the game. That's a long time.
Was that playtesting, sort of?
Yeah, it is. Also development.
Like while it was on Steam, or?
Yeah, like when you're making the game, like when you're running it, it's actually logging into Steam, right? So Steam knows you're playing the game, but I'm actually making it, so
yeah,
all those hours get counted.
Cool. Well, here's the 3rd send-off, so.
Right.
Yeah. So you have a good one. I'll upload this and get you some more sales.
Right.
Get some more money in your pocket.
Thanks, man.
So you can make Lovely Planet too.
Oh yeah. You don't sensationalize that.
Nope.
I don't know yet.
Nope. Yeah. Lovely Planet on Xbox One, you said? The next gen?
That's probably going to happen this year.
It's cool.
That's really positive. Like I think that's gonna take off. Sequel, I'll let you know. Cool.
It's been good. So you have a good one.
Thanks, man. Yeah, you too.
Yep. See you around, maybe.